Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Maricopa Open presented by Infinite Disc. We're at the Hidden Valley Disc Golf Course, a temporary course for this year's action. What a card. Anthony Barela along with Andrew Marwede. We also have Jacob Courtis, a.k.a. Cupcake, and rounding out the card, Owen Bear. I'm going to switch things up. I'm giving you all 18 holes here in this video. Let me know if you like that. I'm excited to see what's going on out here. We've seen this event played at a number of courses throughout the last 11 years. Now we're going all temp course. And I think we're going to see some good scores. That's assuming the weather conditions stay as they are now. Absolutely beautiful out here. AB with the 300-foot straight-ahead shot. Andrew Marwede comes in with a 1030 rating. And just the week before, withdrew from the Shelly Sharp, as many of you watched that coverage. Had a really uncharacteristic or before experienced back spasm and some struggles there, and ultimately had to withdraw after the 8th hole of competition. Cupcake, Jacob Courtis. Going to get it out of the way right off the bat. Trimmed every single putt. Because I know you're wondering. Owen Bear comes out of Tempe, Arizona. 997 rating. And we're playing to an elevated basket on this very first hole. As you can see, pretty straightforward. A lot of the holes I feel like are going to be pretty straightforward throughout. We'll see what the wind and any other weather conditions can maybe do to change that up for the weekend. But this is a temporary course. And this very first one features the elevated basket. Obviously a little bit of a drop-off cliff, so to speak. Marwede for birdie. And off the top, and as many of you know, when you're going after an elevated pin such as this, you miss. There's a lot of places it could go, or it could carry a long way when you're putting at it. And AB is going to start out with a birdie to get things going. It's a gorgeous Friday afternoon, late January. Courtis in for par. Oh, no, Owen. After closest to the pin, maybe a little early round nerves here. He's going to have to walk away with the par. Of course, our presenting sponsor in Infinite Disc. Thank you guys so much. We head to 340 feet. There's OB along the right side. It kind of jets out, creates almost a little corner on the right-hand side that you could certainly find if you're throwing maybe a forehand that carries way too hard to the right. But this looks like good positioning. You're not really in threat of coming into the OB near the basket off to the right. It's only early on in the flight. If you were to grip lock it and pull it way to the right with a backhand, or maybe, I don't know, somehow just launch it way right with a forehand going that way, you could possibly find the OB, but not too likely. 2-meter rule is not in effect here this weekend. And one may think, well, if you're playing a temp course in the desert, what kind of obstacles are you going to find? Well, I think you'll see plenty throughout. Maybe not your typical big cedars or huge pine trees or maples or anything of that nature, but plenty of other things to make sure you navigate around as Owen's next to the basket, likely a par coming up. What I think I'm most surprised by is the lack of wind. Just seems dead calm out. And one of the best putters in the game, Andrew Marwede. You guys often see him somewhere in the mid to low 90s in terms of C1X putting. I can't imagine that this year will be any different. Good comeback putt there for Courtis. So right off the bat, I'm going to ask a question as we got AB lining up for a birdie luck. If you were out at a course like this, are you swapping out any discs? You see the rocks. You know, there's various terrain, especially when you go to a place like Arizona, a lot of other places where you find some kind of desert, either volcanic rock or something of that nature. Do you swap out your discs, or do you bring your favorites out there and play with a regular bag? That's the question I want to know. Infinite's probably hoping you just buy more from them, which I can understand. And the disc must come to rest on top of the plateau. Anything short of that is going to be considered out of bounds. And if you come up short of that, you go to the drop zone. So at 285, you want to be making sure you get up toward the pin or beyond. Or you could almost just put it in like that. And AB off to a great start. 3 for 3. Including a little stepper from circle 2. From what looks like half the distance or so. Cupcake steps up. So maybe not a lot of obstacles, but like I said, certainly can mess with your stance. They can mess with the actual line of view, the line of play. Possibly your swing as it comes through, but yeah, Marwede's not worried about any of that. And Owen will put himself on the board with his first birdie of the round. Hole 4, 337 feet. This one's as straightforward as you think. Put it out there, 337, pretty flat. And AB likes it. One has to think, what's your strategy when it comes out to playing and or practicing a course like this when, as you can see right now, relatively flat. It's a matter of spotting the basket, but then also just what's your aiming point? Where are you thinking you're trying to place it when you may not have a lot of other trees or other reference points. I think that becomes possibly part of the challenge out here. We're hearing the wind pick up a little bit as well, just as we did at the end of the last hole.
Oh, you're joking? That was hard. A little clip.
Cupcake from circle 2. Firm with the effort. That's a little meat left on the bone, so to speak. Owen, similar distance, giving that one a bid. Also out in the field, the previous week's champion and Parker Welk. It's been some pretty serious battles that we've had on the channel here over the last few months. Big Arm Challenge, along with Shelly Sharp. Barela looking to go 4 for 4. Ooh, right side. Pulls it in.
Oops.
The comeback putts have looked great. I think he's had 2 or 3 of them now. And they're spot on. It's a matter of dialing it up the first time. You would think I would plan a whole bunch of cactus puns. I don't have any yet, but I'm guessing by the time we get this thing done, I'll have something lined up. Big thanks to our friends at the Distinguished Doodle. Use the code The Disc Golf Guy, and you get 35% off your entire order. Just type in The Disc Golf Guy while you're checking out. Distinguished Doodle, headquartered right out of Arizona. All USA-made products. AB. Make sure he has the footing right for this par 4, 695 feet. There's a Mando that you must stay to the to the left of. It's on the right-hand side, so you must stay to the left of it. What a chance to air out the big arms. We see Cupcake going big. AB obviously is going to be able to take advantage of some of his distance out here. I think I need to investigate what Cupcake's longest throw is. It has to be over 600 feet. Okay, so Owen has 7 wins in the MPO division to his name.
Sit.
Andrew Marwede, who came onto the scene, started touring a few years ago, has over 50 wins, most of them B and C tiers out of Michigan, but he's clearly won on some of the bigger stages as well. He's got a number of A-tier wins. I'm not trying to downplay them, but quite a few of his wins did come in Michigan and continue to come in Michigan, even though we've seen him down here in Arizona for the last few years, especially during the early season. Cupcake hails out of California. He's got 11 MPO wins. One of those bigger ones being the Wintertime Open, which so often has kicked off our season. Just a little chip shot for Barela. Marwede on the low side. Little forehand. Throws it in. What a putt. Toss, launch, whatever. Somebody's packed his bag of tricks. So Courtis is in for the birdie. And Owen just not finding that comfortable putting stroke. Has certainly left a few of them out here in the early goings as AB lines up, and not a problem as Barela puts down his 5th birdie in a row to get things started. Just about 100 meters. Barela still has the tee. 5 birdies to get started. And you must stay to the left of a Mando that is on the short right side out here on this hole. You have to re-tee if you miss it, and beyond the flagged wash area. It says OB beyond flagged wash, but the wash is safe. That's what I'm reading out of the caddy book. I think for next year, if we come back out here, if the tournament's held out here, just may need to put up like 18 portable scaffolding units that are all right at the tee so that you can see up and over everything that's out here. Count it. Marwede's off to a 4 for 6 start. Somewhat of a goofy stance here for Barela. Just that we don't see him often straddle. Short, and it looks like it rolled more than the distance he gained. So a quick tap in. So that means Barela is going to pick up his first par of the round. He'll remain at 5. And with Marwede connecting, that means Marwede's within 1. We'll head on to hole number 7. Need some design work. Go over there and talk to the Her brothers. Doing some amazing stuff on just so many different fronts. Also right up out of Arizona. 260 feet. We saw the forehand by Marwede. Looks quite effective. We're going to see a forehand here by Courtis. Asking for it to push. And you're seeing forehands. This does have a Mando on the right-hand side. So you must go out to the left, exactly like what we're seeing. If If you miss the Mando, you go to the drop zone. And then we're going to see 4 for 4 on the forehands. Barela off the par on the previous hole. Converts on that one. So high right chain for Cupcake. That one doesn't fall for him. Now Owen from short range. That's got to feel frustrating. I mean, he's putting himself in position to pick up birdies along with the rest of the card and just really not converting on some of these short range putts. As Marwede taps in, he's now 5 for 7. Barela 6 for 7. And the short miss by Cupcake keeps him at 3 under. Speaking of Arizona, Dietrich Creative Design, trying to help out with course design. Make sure you check them out, especially if you're in the Arizona area. Is exactly where they're based out of. The link is in the description. And big thanks to Dietrich Creative Design for supporting some of my Arizona-based coverage here. On hole number 8, 710 feet. We have 2 Mandos, so it's a double Mando, the Saguaros, and you have to go through the middle of them. Not quite the stability that he was looking for. It says if you do not make it through the 2 cacti, that you go to the drop zone. And that's exactly where we'll find Cupcake. So a costly mistake here on the par 4. There's 4 par 4s on the course. I would think that most of them are going to be pretty scoreable. They kind of go from that 600 to about 700 foot range. So nothing too crazy. In fact, this will play as the most difficult of all the par 4s, averaging just .21 under par. 5th most difficult hole on the entire course. Whereas hole 11 is 623 feet as a par 4, and it'll play almost a full stroke under par. It's the easiest hole on the entire course. Good pitch up there by Cupcake. Owen has a birdie look. He'll take it. We arrive at Cupcake. That's for bogey. And that's going to hurt. Yeah, you're seeing the most of the field play this under par. And now you're looking at a double. Meanwhile, AB trying to get 7 under through 8. It's already at 6. Doing some work. Marwede looking to go to 6 under through 8. Hearing the wind pick up. Feels like it's steadily increased over the last, well, really since hole 1, where we had almost nothing, and now it's slowly starting to pick up. So Cupcake's going to give 2 back to the course and fall to just 1 under, as we're here at this PDGA A-tier event. Hole 9, we're going to close out the front half, just 250 feet. This is an island hole, and if you miss the island, you must proceed to the drop zone. It's still playing on the easier side of things. Comes in as the 5th easiest hole on the course. Average .53 under par, but as you can imagine, also had more bogeys than most holes. Right on the edge of the circles where we'll see Cupcake. He converts, so a good bounce back. Picking up a birdie after the double. Owen well inside the circle. You see Marwede there, parked right next to the pin. Owen just barely gets it over. And now Barela, similar distance here to what we just saw from Owen. No, left side for Barela. So the 2 misses he had on the front, both as a result of straddle putting. Obviously he needed to, but Marwede is going to tap in. He's going to be 7 under through the front 9. That's exactly what AB is going to remain, 7 through 9 with 2 missed putts. And we're seeing some pretty hot scores here in the front. Very scoreable conditions in the opening round. And with that, we take a look at the scores. Barela, Rock, Newton, Marwede all shooting 7 under. I'm going to try out something different. We're going to keep this thing rolling. We're going to head into the back 9 and do it all in one video. I don't know. You tell me. Leave in the comments. Do you like what we're doing here? And just like that, we're back for more action. And we head into the back 9. There's a little stretch here. 10, 11, and 12 play as the 3 easiest holes on the course. So if there's such a thing as Birdie Alley out here in the desert, this would be it. Just 180 feet. Definitely playing closer to 250, maybe more.
Thought it was splashing, dude.
Owen calling for it. Relatively slow starts here for Courtis and Bear. Both just 2 and 3 under. We saw that Barela, Marwede, and a couple others. 7 under was the hottest of anyone through the front 9, and there's 3 or 4 guys at that number. And everybody looking to tack onto it as we head into the back here. Well, that wanted to pop back out, but nonetheless stays in for Cupcake. He goes to 3 under. And everyone pretty much right here, ready to go. This played as the 2nd easiest hole, actually, averaging .74 below par. The next hole played as the single easiest hole on the course. It's a par 4, 623 feet. clearly with the elevation, that 623 doesn't feel anywhere near that length.
Push. If I only threw far, it'd be perfect.
Owen looking for a little more distance. I know Cupcake has plenty of distance to get there. But we also saw earlier in the round that when he really put the hurt on a disc, it had flipped over on him. So definitely trying to figure out the right stability here. That one's going to be short and left, but a long look for eagle. Owen's ready for it. See him also filming. We got 2 camera coverage now. Yeah, that's a smash. Wow, what a shot by Barela. What's the longest ace you've ever seen?
A little, please. Just a little.
I think that's a fair question. Well, or maybe you witnessed it, or maybe it was yours. In that case, you still witnessed it. That's something else you could tell me. The longest ace that you've ever seen. Long eagle bid there by Marwede's Cupcake. Well, really no doubt about how his came down. Oh, and he cashes it in for the eagle. Very impressive. He would be one of 4 eagles on the day. So 25 birdies. I don't believe we saw a single bogey on this hole. Oh, scratch that. We did, but we're not them out. Easy birdie for Owen, and then now a tap-in eagle. Not a problem for Barela. 623 feet. About 2.5 feet to go. Barela is one of 4 eagles. We saw Cupcake, we saw Barela's. Broston Waugh and Aaron Gossage also both got it. Now we move on to the 3rd easiest hole on the course. So we went from the 2nd easiest to the 1st easiest, now to the 3rd easiest. Hole 12, 342 feet, averaged 2.44, which for so many holes that are shorter than this one, I'm surprised this averaged as the 3rd easiest hole on the course. Got to be seeing birdies here. Not a problem. If you're looking at the pace, we see that Barela is currently 10 under through 11 holes. Marwede 9 under through 11. You have to wonder, with a couple of par 4s left, or excuse me, just one more par 4 left. I don't know if there's an eagle opportunity. I don't know if there's a chance to get to that elusive 18. We see Marwede now come into double digits. And the only times we've seen Barela struggle with his putt are the 2 times he's had to straddle putt. And he makes that one look pretty easy. And we head on over to hole number 13, 340 feet. Average 2.62.
Get right. Just not.
Not really much to this one in the fact that it's just straightforward out there. No mandos, no drop zones, no shelves, no islands, nothing to worry about. Just straight up in 340 feet. If anything, there might be a slight downhill slope to this. Just in the most gradual of senses. Not sure what's in the weather forecast, but as you think about the next couple of days, you can't imagine that the scoring conditions could be even better than they are here on this opening Friday afternoon.
Nope. Oh, that's such a hard angle.
And a rare miss by Marwede coming up off the front of the basket that looked to be in circle 2.
Can't make a damn straddle.
All right, so I guess it wasn't just coincidence. Barela says he can't make a deep straddle putt. He's 0 for 3 on the straddles today. As Cupcake is in for the birdie, he moves to 7 under. You still got to love the pace that you're sitting on. You're 11 under through 13. Next up, we head over to hole 14. Going to see some Mando action. You must really split the two Mandos. The one that's on the right is much easier to miss, so to speak, versus the one on the left. So you have plenty of room on the double Mando. If you miss the double Mando, you go to the drop zone.
Perfect.
As you can see, this sets up way better for the forehand. Owen's going to be on that left side. This is to the elevated basket, just like we saw on a few other holes, including hole 1. And that looked almost identical to his effort on hole 1. Quite the outstretched Marwede. I've never been in a situation where I thought, man, I just really wish I was shorter out here on the course. Feels like the tall guys, not only because of the levers that they have to throw with, but just in general. Rarely are you pinched, I feel like, into a position where your height is at a significant disadvantage. I'm sure it happens every once in a while, and all the tall people in the comments can tell me, but more often than not, you would usually rather be taller than shorter. You heard a little self-talk coming out of Cupcake. As I said way back on hole 1, significantly trimming out lots of time. And then often when he's made the putt, he walks away, and it's, I think, because he knows he has more than exceeded the 30 seconds. And there's some kind of self-talk and frustration from himself. As far as I know, there was not any warnings called or penalties assessed at this point throughout the round, although the camera would show that there's been plenty of opportunities.
What the hell was that?
And a huge, way out of frame. Spicy Boy having a hard time following that one. That was up and out of frame almost immediately. As we're here on 15, this is playing as the third most difficult hole on the course at 400 feet, average 2.82, and 15 and 17 are two of the three hardest on the course. In fact, 17 played at 3.15, so over par on the day, which is one of only two holes that barely played over par. Good line. Just too much height to it, or power, whatever you want to call it. And now you can see why AB was questioning his release, because he is well out of position. Oh, he's got the jumper and almost is able to ring it up. Speaking of ringing things up, we've got Marwede. Actually, that's not what I was going to say, as we're watching Marwede, though. Oh, okay. I wasn't trying to spoil anything. I wanted to say thank you to all of the supporters and sponsors. You saw them around hole number 9. Then there's individual sponsors that were supporting the tournament directly. And then you have various coverage sponsors as well. So I just wanted to quickly say thanks. And when I was talking about ringing them up, go out and support any of them, because they're supporting disc golf. We always talk about bigger purses. We talk about ways that we can help the sport grow. And when we find sponsors that are supporting the event and or coverage directly, shopping with them, I think, is what keeps this train rolling all in the right direction. Marwede with the lone birdie in the group, and he's all knotted up with Barela now. And if you're confused about my disc in a box, I make disc shipping boxes that are perfect for 1, 2, or 3 discs. In fact, if you've ever ordered discs, you've probably gotten at some point a disc that came in one of the boxes that I've had made. I sell them usually in 100 count packs. I also offer up 2 mil and 4 mil bags. Glad to help you out, so please reach out to me or just find them on my website. But those are my product that I then offer up. We've literally sold hundreds of thousands of them, and people continue to use them, and maybe more importantly, they reuse them. Might be bad for my business, but I love the fact that they get recycled over and over again.
Why are you turning, bro? Get in front of that.
16 is pretty straightforward at just about 100 meters. Not much to worry about. Not any OBs or Mandos, anything of that nature. Just finding your line around some of these natural visible obstacles. Owen's put himself in good position. And just off the top, you heard him asking for it to drop. I'm not even going to make it drop it like it's hot reference. That'll work. Cupcake pulling to 9 under. I don't know if I've seen a course that has more kind of like, we'll say waist high, leg, knee, waist high obstruction, and just things to think about in that sense. Usually we're used to tree branches and limbs and things more up in the airspace, but just stuff around your footing. This might be a course that is very unique in that sense, at least from what I've ever filmed or thought about in the past. Speaking of filming, Spicy Boy on the camera for the weekend. Big shout out to him. Well, he was doing this. I was in Malaysia covering the Malaysia Championship. Or Southeast Asia Championship taking place in Malaysia. So doubling up, giving you guys as much coverage as we can. Just 2 holes left to play. And as we head over to hole number 17, the most difficult hole relative to par on the course, and it's only at 255 feet. And we have a triple mando in which you have to go through the upright, which you can see on the left side and the right side there. And then you saw the flags kind of depicting the upper entrapment. And that's over the top. And I'm not talking about the terrible the terrible arm wrestling movie. A little tree love, that'll work. Oh, basket hunting. What a shot by Owen. He carried quite a ways deep, but it was on line. So Cupcake's going to the drop zone with a chance to save the par, but he's going to come up short. And just when he had caught some serious momentum, looks like it's going to come to a halt. He had gotten 8 under on the previous 8 holes. Barela trying to get to 14, and he'll pull out in front of Marwede after the Marwede birdie attempt was off the mark. So 14 under through 17 holes. That includes an eagle back on 11. And Owen's been about 6 or 12 inches off from having about 6 to 8 more birdies. Couple of par cleanups, and we're going to move into hole number 18 here in just a moment. 18 plays pretty much right in the middle of difficulty, right around the 8th or 9th most difficult hole. Still averaged .44 below par, and you hear the wind picking up as they're trying to close out. Nick Newton out there cruising around as we see, again, Distinguished Doodle, 35% off. Use the code TheDiscGolfGuy at checkout. Spoiler alert, Nick Newton had played a little earlier. He's in the clubhouse. He's carded a 13 under. So we'll see officially where that places him for second round, but things are looking good right now for him. Getting real close for this one. And Cupcake hoping to take advantage of the distance. A shot pulled way off to the right could find OB if you find the paved road and beyond.
What'd you have, Andrew? 260. Go mid or Drew?
Somewhere in the 260 range to the pin is what I think I'm hearing. 605 feet for this final par 4. Yeah, if your putter's not dialed in, just either putting it close or throwing it in is a good way to remedy that. Now, Cupcake, looking for his last approach of the round. Barela with a chance at eagle to get to 16 under. Nonetheless, looks like he's making pretty light work here of the final hole. Marwede to get to 14 with a birdie. And so Marwede's going to finish out at 13 under, it appears. So he makes his cleanup putt. And as we start to clean things up, can't say it enough. Thank you to Sam, Chuck, everybody doing all the work out here so that we could have the event. I know there's some challenges over at Copper Sky and at the Maricopa course, both of them, the HOA and all that other stuff. So great to see that we still have an event, the 11th annual. Big thanks to Infinite Disc for again being the title sponsor, and also Spicy Boy running around catching the action so we could still give you guys the coverage here on the channel. Thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. I can't say enough. That's how we're able to cover all sorts of events all over the country. And Barela does have Hot Round, Connor Rock, Levi Hancock, and Nick Newton will all be on your lead card. We'll see you guys for round number 2.